What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of NAS100 analysis today. And today, basically, it's pretty much gone left, right? It's gone fully fledged left, right? Today was a brutal day, right? Hence why I now like trading with trailing stops. Reason why is because when weird stuff like this happens, you kind of walk out of there with something in your pocket, right? Hadn't I not done that and just waited for TP, okay, which my TP would have been somewhere up here, I would have lost everything I'd gained and would have gone negative. And look at this size of this parabolic red. Look at the size of this parabolic red. Literally, it's not looking back. It is not looking back. I'm trying to figure out to see how low this thing is actually going to go. It might actually come down to as low as this level over here to give us the double bottom at this level, right? Now, we cannot disregard this move to the upside over here, okay, right? And most importantly, we now need to figure out where this thing is going to land at, okay? So before we get into all of that, I'm just going to talk briefly about the moves I made today, because I actually added on another trade today, right? And that got closed out in a red. So the one that I added yesterday, so I think I added the trade on either Wednesday or Thursday last week. Okay, that's the one we talked about. Then I added another trade yesterday. Okay, so I added another trade yesterday. That went profitable today, so I brought out my trailing stop. Okay. So, okay, let me clean all this up and then I'll start telling you exactly what I did and how I did it. Just gonna keep these levels there for now. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Gonna keep that there. So this trade over here, right? So this trade over here, that one went good. Okay, and then I entered in another trade over here. So I entered in another trade right over here, right? And then I moved my trailing stop, which was covering my first trade, which was down here somewhere, this trade to about here, to about this level. And in hindsight, I should have moved it up here, right? But I moved it to about here somewhere. So this is where I had it. And then the CPI news broke, right? So the CPI news broke and it was expected, so it was forecasted to be negative, but it came out positive. And that positive move did all of this. So if you want to know why the NAS is falling today, it's because of the CPI report, and it's falling on a number of assets as well. So the euro's falling as well, Bitcoin is falling as well. Everything, well, not everything, it wasn't expected, so that's what's happening. So now, how do we get past this? How do we navigate this? How do we seize on this opportunity? Well, first things first, patience is your friend when it comes to the market. Patience is your friend, and that is something you want to exercise, okay? So you could literally jump in and start selling, because I thought about doing that. Once I got closed out, but then I didn't listen to that part of my brain, because that part of my brain, although in this situation it would have been a good advice, usually that part of my brain gives me bad advice, right? So I've won, even though I took a small L, I actually won. But then what happens is it's like, oh, go back and get back the money you lost. Go back and get it. Do you know what I mean? And you then put in a trade, which is emotions, right? And then you end up losing more than what you already gained. So you end up giving back to the market what you already just took out the market, and that was too impulsive. So what I did was I checked myself and I said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything until this thing settles. And when it does settle, then I will look for opportunities. So as it stands right now, I am waiting for the NAS to settle somewhere. Now, it could settle at this trend line right here. Then that is a good thing in regards to this level over here. Why? Because it's produced for us a higher low, right? And all this violent wick to the downside, all of that will need to be filled. So it can either be a fast move to the upside or a slow move to the upside, but ultimately we're going to get that. Okay, we just have to be patient and we just have to wait. Okay, and once again, this is not financial advice. This is purely how I plan to navigate the markets, and I'm just sharing that with you. It is important to do your own research, do your own homework, make sure you have a good reason as to why you're doing what it is that you're doing, supposing to pick some points it, right? Because I'm not responsible. It's important that you know that. Okay, so let's go into a bit of a higher time frame just to get much of a better vibe as to what's going on. I mean, that drop is crazy. It is crazy. Okay, so let's have a look to see what's good. So if it breaks this structure over here, so now we're looking at it on a daily. If NAS breaks this structure over here, and I think it's going to do it because this wick is just too strong. I think it's going to break it, and I think tomorrow's going to be another red day, right? If it breaks this trend line, then this is what I would be hoping for. I would be hoping for price to come to this level. This is what I'll be hoping for. And what I would think about doing is I would think about joining in on the sell. I would think about joining in on the sell and see what happens. Literally, but for now, I'm going to sit this whole thing out. And I'm just going to wait. I went in there, I got my fair share. So it wasn't a bad day for me, right? There's a couple of people that I know personally that have been absolutely wiped out. So they've blown their accounts again. And they're now going to have to need to find some more liquidity to get back in. Look, it happens. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Okay. So, yeah. So that is the analysis for actually, no. We're not done. We are not done. We are not done. We are not done. We're not done. We are not done. There's a couple more things we can look at actually. We're not done. Okay, let's so I'm going to get rid of some of these little levels over here because these things are all irrelevant now because we've gotten paid, right? So let's get rid of all of that. That level, I recognize that, so we can get rid of. I'm going to keep this structure there because I want that. I definitely want that sitting there. We get rid of this over here. And we're going to get rid of this level over here. We get rid of all of these because we can revisit them later. Let's get rid of all of this one as well. Okay, this one goes quite far back, so let's keep that there. Actually, we're going to bring that back. Going to get rid of this. We're going to keep this nice and clean. Let's see where these levels, where they land at. Okay, so we definitely want these ones. And let's see anything I want to get rid of. Okay, we want to keep this there, so let me move this over here. I want to keep that. Okay, so in my opinion, now that we're back in it, now that we're back into it again, what do I think is going to happen? Either, and these are the three moves that I want to give you, the three moves that could happen. Okay, right? The first one is not likely at all, but it can happen. And that is, we get a consolidation somewhere down here for it to push back up again. Okay. Now, the reason why I believe that is highly unlikely for that to happen is the strength of this bearish candle right now. So the strength of this bearish candle right now does not fill me with confidence that we're going to get a consolidation up here to push to the upside. In my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen, but that could happen. Okay. Second scenario, market flies all the way down and stabilizes at this level right here. Stabilizes at this level right here where it begins to consolidate, at which point we then change the structure of this to something like this. That is possible, right? Looking at what the market is doing right now, so that there is possible that market could begin to try to start to stabilize at this level. Okay. Second scenario, right? is it flies all the way down to this level, all the way down to this level. So if I was doing anything, if I really wanted to get back to the market, I will wait to see what type of structure emerges tomorrow in regards to the start of the trading day, and maybe throughout the whole day. So for that, we're going to need the hourly time frame for that. And what we basically will be looking for at this level is any type of consolidation, whether it's a consolidation for the upside or a consolidation to the downside. Okay, and these consolidations that we're looking for, they're not set in stone. It does not mean because you've seen it, what usually follows next is going to follow next. No, that's not the case at all. You'll be taking a calculated risk with those. So a consolidation like this is what we're looking for. Okay, tomorrow on the hourly, right? And that consolidation like that basically means it's going to push up, right? Doesn't always do that, but in most cases that's what happens. Or a consolidation like that. Okay, what we don't want, okay, and a consolidation like that basically means there's a good chance it's going to break back down again. Okay, so then we can decide if we're going to join the sell. What we don't want is a consolidation like this, because a consolidation like that basically means it can go either direction, right? So it's either you're going to trade this, you're going to trade the channel, this particular channel over here, okay, and it can go either way. So if you're trading the channel, it's really simple. Your stop is always at the top, your stop on the buys is always just below the bottom, and your take profit is in between the channel, right? You don't aim for outside of it at all, because you don't know where it's going to break towards. You don't know if it's going to go in your favor or go against you. So you're better off taking as much as you can take in the middle, and then wait to see when it breaks out. And then if it breaks out, it's broken out, it's done what it's done, right? So this one here, I don't want this one at all. Okay, what's the next thing that I'm looking for? That's basically it. That is basically it. On the hourly, I'm going to see that signal. I'm going to see one of these signals appear. So it's either going to be this one, the one going up, or the one going down, or it's just going to break down. But because of the strength, like I said, of this candle over here, when it starts consolidating, it's going to be quite clear to see. It's going to be quite clear to see what it's doing and how it's doing it, and then we're going to be able to decide what we plan to do. Okay, so with that covered, make sure you check out the other videos in this corner over here, or in this corner over here, or in this corner over here, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, which is right here. So for now, this is Pips and Points signing out.